the latest podcast, and I'm really pleased to be able to be here in our brand new kitchens. I think you'll be able to see from behind me that there's a frenzied activity where we're getting the patients' evening meals out, and lots of our staff are putting together the meals which will have been chosen by our patients, and then the porters are on hand to take the trolleys out into the individual wards. Now, this has cost about £3 million. And although you perhaps can't see behind me, I can assure you, because I've been around the kitchens, that it is like a space station. It is state of the art in terms of the equipment. The staff absolutely love it, and they quickly took into the right new way of working, which was just fabulous. And when you talk to them, it makes them feel really proud to be able to work in such a state of the art kitchen. Now, we know from evidence how important nutrition is to our patients, not just from the physiological point of view, but also from the psychological point of view, because when you're in hospital, the meals become a great priority. And so the fact that we've got the ability now to serve the most highly nutritious food that looks beautifully presented is a plus for everybody, for the staff here, but most importantly for our patients. I've now moved into the very heart of the kitchens. It's a bit quieter because, as you know, the meals have now been prepared and are going out to our patients. But I think you must agree from the scene behind me that when I said it is like a spaceship and state of the art, that is absolutely what it is. So the next area I want to talk about is the CQC monitoring intelligence tool, where I'm proud to say that we've retained the top level band 6 for the third quarter in a row. We're one of only 2 organisations to do that, and we've been joined this quarter by a third organisation within Greater Manchester. So it's fabulous that ourselves, the Christie and Salford Royal all now have that top banding, made up of 150 different indicators which will be looking at information such as mortality, morbidity, our infection prevention rates, and many of the patient experience standards. So this is very much down to the staff giving the very best of care to our patients. We have recently received the results of our patient experience survey in accident and emergency. And for the second time running, this has shown that we are about average with other trusts in terms of the views of patients. Now, given the high pressures that have been in accident and emergency, I think that that is a positive result. However, we're absolutely not complacent, and there are areas where we need to continue to improve. I can say that we have shown well above average in one of the questions, and that was specifically around, do doctors and nurses talk about me as the patient as if I wasn't there? And that's clearly not what's been happening, which is a good news story. And whilst it's perhaps not specifically reflected in the patient experience, over the last few weeks, when it has been extraordinarily pressurised in the accident emergency department, I have been told by many people who have used the service that our staff have managed to remain calm and absolutely showing dedication to the patient in front of them, listening to them and treating them as an individual, whilst at the same time caring for hundreds of patients. So thank you to our staff for that. Hopefully you can still hear me. The noise in the background isn't a spaceship. It is apparently the blast chiller, no doubt chilling some wonderful cooked hams or turkeys that the kitchen has been producing. I want to talk, however, about the Parliamentary Ombudsman that looks at complaints. And we've received a report that shows the position for the last 15 months. Specifically for 2013 and 14, we've had over 700 complaints, of which 7 have been referred to the Ombudsman. One of those has been partially upheld, and that was around poor communication, which actually led to a delay in diagnosis of a patient having sepsis. It's those kind of issues that we absolutely need to take account of, learn from, and ensure that we don't have similar problems. And communication remains the area of focus. So we are listening. It is right that we listen. Unfortunately, there will be times we do not get things right, and what we want to do is make sure that we learn from each of those, so next time we do get it right. In terms of accident emergency, I think you'd be surprised if I don't mention the high level of pressure that we have been experiencing over the last few weeks. We're not any different than other accident emergency departments in the whole of the country, and in Greater Manchester, whilst we are apparently doing as well as other areas, we are having extreme difficulty. The numbers of patients are up, often 14% higher than the same period last year, and sometimes even higher than that. Our staff are able to cope with that, although I have to say that the number of patients waiting over the national standard of 4 hours has been breached a significant number of times, and our performance has therefore significantly reduced for this quarter. Whilst that is in itself causing concern, the most important thing to remember is that we give quality care, appropriate care and kind care to our patients, and that's where our staff are coming into their own. So apologies to any of you who have maybe had to use the service recently, that you probably have waited longer than we would have wanted, but the sheer volume of very high acuity, poorly patients is what's causing us some considerable difficulty. I've now moved into the bakery, and this is where the kitchens actually produce their own scones, cakes, sponges and breads. And you can see I'm next to one of our big mixers, and hopefully it's producing the scones for tomorrow, and I can assure you they are delicious. If you're ever walking into our Take 5 cafe or one of the other areas, I do suggest you try one with a cup of coffee or tea. I'm delighted to say that yet again I'm able to round off the year with some awards, and we had a big awards ceremony undertaken in Stockport Town Hall, which was for the Stockport Young Stars Award, and we had a winner. One of them was the Employer Gold Award, and that was for employment opportunities for young people, particularly for our apprentice schemes, and it's something that we're very pleased to be expanding upon and developing, and we're now having apprentices in areas such as clinical areas of physiotherapy, as well as certainly areas such as the kitchens here. So something that we very much want to expand upon, and great that we won an award for. We've also got a finalist, Judith Riley, who is our e-records project manager, is a finalist for the Women in IT Awards, and we're keeping all of our fingers crossed that that Judith wins that prize. It would be very, very much something that that she would be pleased to win, but is something that's very deserved. And finally, our maternity team has yet again won the UNICEF Baby Friendly Level 3 Award, which is the top award for baby-friendly maternity services that UNICEF give out. So well done to that team for retaining that award. And finally, I just wanted to say I wish you all a very happy Christmas and an extraordinarily healthy and happy New Year and 2015. And that's to both of our staff, but also to you as the people that we're here to serve. We very much at this time of year think about our patients who are in hospital and their families who will perhaps be struggling with illness of a loved one. And so our thoughts are very much with them. So keep yourselves healthy and well, but if you did have an accident or a problem, then we look forward to giving you the very, very best of care in the future. Happy Christmas.